All right, everybody. Just grateful for you guys being out there. Stay warm. It is extremely cold out there still, but we have a really on fire entrepreneur here, Matt DeCoursey. So thank you so much, sir. I am a big fan of your work, and I'm so grateful that you have now accepted our 10-10 challenge. So I know we got this scheduled with your assistant, and so I don't know how much you know about our 10-10 challenge, but we're going to ask you 10 questions in 10 seconds all about your very first job. So we're going to go all the way back to memory lane. All right. All right.
Okay,
So
sure.
you ready to go down?
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
All right. That'll work. All right. What was your first job? Where did you work?
Hy-Vee.
Oh, nice. Okay. What was your title or position at your first job?
Bag boy.
I'm sure you were getting tips from the ladies that were there. Amani. So what was your hourly rate of pay?
You couldn't accept tips, by the way. That was prohibited. Yeah. What was my hourly rate?
Yeah. What did you make?
$4 an hour.
That's called humble beginnings, right? Humble beginnings. The worst one we've had so far, Matt, is a guy that was a potato farmer, and he only made 50 cents an hour. That's the worst we've had on the show so far. So, yeah, that's pretty humble. All right. Were you on time or were you late?
On time.
Okay. Where did you learn that habit from?
My parents all day.
Love it. Okay. Next question. When it came to like your clothing, I know you're a bag boy, but did you have your clothes ready the night before, or did you just kind of get up and throw on whatever you needed to throw on?
I definitely threw on whatever I had or was there. Yeah. And I still do.
Well, you can have people bagging your stuff now. We'll talk about that here in a second. Biggest life lesson from your first job?
That $4 an hour is not a lot.
So true. Were you a saver or were you a spender?
Spender.
Yes, I don't remember where I spent any of my money. Okay. All right, last two questions. Give us the best song that describes what your first job looked like, or give us a song that was out during the time of your first job.
I kind of want to say "Loser" by Beck. I mean, and I don't mean to throw any shade out there to the bag boys of the world, but yeah, I really learned that I needed to learn how to do something else.
Really quickly. All right, most embarrassing moment from your first job or any job that you've ever had.
I mean, as a bag boy, occasionally you're carrying the bags and the bottoms fall out.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't really have a specific memory. I mean, I have failed so much as an entrepreneur that, but with that, and that's an important part of the process. But with that, I've trained myself to have a short memory. I don't think about that a lot. I don't really think about those things a lot. So
that is good. Because sometimes, honestly, failure can become a kryptonite to people moving forward, right? So we do the 10-10 challenge. That was our last one. So yay, you made it through our challenge, right? Good job. But what we want to do is bring out successful people that can show people that you don't start your journey at the mountaintop, right? There's a process of what you all have to go through. And I don't care if you've had success, right? Or on whatever level that is, there's still another level that you can go to. Right. And there's a process that you have to go through for that. So we've got our good friend out. So I want to kind of, if you don't mind, walk us through how you went from making it in your industry and then moving up towards kind of where you are now.
Before I do any and all that, I actually want to talk for a second about failure. And success is grown from seeds of failure. And anybody and everybody but now, first off, if we're going to talk about success, we also have to define success. And especially if you're young and you're listening to this, I want to tell you something that's really important. There's nobody that defines whether you're successful or not except for you. Success is determined by when you feel successful. Now, we started this show by talking about the fact that when I was 14, I started as a bag boy at Hy-Vee. Now, I'm going to tell you that growing up, I was not a good student. I have ADD. I'm 45 years old, and ADD is a lot more understood now with children than it was in 1985. And so I was just disruptive. They didn't call it ADD. They didn't do a lot of stuff with that. And the reason I wasn't a good student is because if I wasn't interested in the subject, I just didn't really try that hard. And if I was, I did excellent. Now, education is important, but it has certainly not defined me as a professional or an entrepreneur. I've took it upon myself to educate myself when and where I need, because I can't go back in the past and become a good student in high school in 1993. So, education is the pillar of everything that you're going to need to do, whether it's in sports or business or all of it. You're going to have to get a level of education regardless of where you find it. Start with the school that you're in now, because you have a much easier path if you do well there. I took the hard road to the mountaintop. Now, when it comes to that mountaintop, there's a few things that are important, because if you want to get to the top of it, what's easier? Climbing up all on your own, or looking up and asking those that are already on top to pull you up?
Yes.
Right. So, and in regards to that, there is always, and I mean always, someone at a higher peak than you are. Meaning there's always someone to look up to. There's always someone that you can say, hey, can I get a hand? Pull me up. So, this is the pillars of becoming successful by your own definition. So you define what that is for you. Does that mean making money? Because making money does not make you successful. What you do with the money and the things that you create in and around your life and how you act as a result of that,
yes,
is way more, adds way more definition to you as a person, an entrepreneur, any of it, than money. So, the definition of financial success is having enough money that you don't worry about money.
That's right.
That level is different for 100% of people. So, and with all of that, if your goal is just to make a lot of money, you need a different goal, because that doesn't work. People make a lot of money because they've become an expert. They've become an expert at something that they do. They are better at it. And with that, success demands payment in advance.
Yes,
you don't become an expert or the man or the woman at what you do just because you want to. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the reps. I love that this show is about sports, because I believe that sports not only teaches you how to be an amazing team member, but it can also teach you the discipline of reps. Reps. I don't care if it's Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. There was a lot of swings and a lot of shots taken and a lot more misses than makes on the way to getting it right. So
hold tight for a second, because you unpack 5 million different things. My brain is
that was a lot.
Yeah, man, you. If I would have had you said you were a bagger for your first job. I could imagine myself right now with a cart, and you just put so many nuggets in there. My basket is just overflowing right now, right? So I want to unpack some of those. But real quick, I want to definitely give a shout out to Tammy. Tammy and I have been working together in a partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters for a long time. So Tammy, kudos to you. I'm excited about being able to get reconnected on some things, because you have been, if I'm not mistaken, you have a new role. Is that correct?
I do. Yeah. I'm so excited. Gosh, I don't even want to try to follow up Matt, though.
You do stuff that matters. I just build businesses. You got way better stuff than me.
I will say you are a word master, though. I love everything that you said, Claude. You're absolutely right. I was just sitting there being like, yes, and also, yes, that too. So, my new role at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I've been there for about 9 years, and I'm so excited about this space that I'm entering right now. So my focus is workforce development and community partnerships. And when I try to unpack that, it just pretty much means get in all the spaces and do all the things in Kansas City, for profit, nonprofit. Obviously, and this speaks a little bit to what Matt was saying, but what is your definition of success? And that's what we're working with our kids on, and also trying to destigmatize the ideas that there are certain things that you have to do in order to be successful, right? Like our generation, you've entered a trade because you couldn't muster college, right? That's what I heard. So for us with the kids is let's back it up to, about 8th grade, we really start honing in on what are the steps you need to do to reach your goals, not the goals that someone else has for you, but your goals, and learn what your skills and your strengths are, and connect you with the people, like you said, Matt, who's a little bit higher up on that mountain and can, give you a lift. And that's really what our focus is connections to opportunities, access to opportunities, ways to make those happen, breaking down the barriers. So I'm so excited to connect with both of you. Matt, I've been on the sideline watching you and Lauren and killing it with everything that you're doing. And Claude, yes, we've been working together for some time. So that's the space I'm in. And I am ready for anyone in Kansas City, including the two of you, to get me in rooms with people I need to be in rooms with to help the kids that we want to lift up. And really, we just want them to reach their goals. Like you said, Matt, I want you to earn a living wage, but does it have to be a certain amount, or is it more about, your mental health, your emotional health, your relationships, all of those things, that content of character, just being in a happy space where you are settled and satisfied with your place in this life.
That's what it's about. So Matt, I don't want to be braggadocious. I know you're a very humble guy, so I won't go deep into your personal success. But I read your book, a couple of them. I actually gave a couple of them away too. So I need to order some more and hand some more of them out. But the $1 Million Bedroom, I think I'm saying that one right. That talked about the success that you've had in your business, and that you were able to sell your business and make multiple figures on that. We had an interview with the guy. His name is Tom Corley. He wrote a book called Rich Habits. I don't know if you ever heard that book before. Now it's pretty good. He interviewed about 800 millionaires and about 500 or 600 people that were in poverty. They made under $50,000 a year, from the way he classified it. And what he noticed was it was the habits that they did in their everyday life that made them successful. It wasn't that they had a silver spoon in their mouth, but it was the choices that they made on a daily basis that separated them from everyone else. Looking at your success, what are your habits that you do on a daily basis that took you from being a regular person that was just trying to make it to being in a position where you have affluence?
I don't consider myself to be affluent, by the way. I think and I say that because, I don't know. I feel like I'm last in the race compared to the people that I really want to be like. And I get up every day and I do it. I mean, honestly, I think Nike says it best, like, just do it. Like, that's really, and the thing is I'm not afraid to start. And I have, over the last, who knows how many years, and all the stuff that I've done, I've talked to literally what feels like a limitless number of people that always have something that they're going to do and then never do it. And they always say, well, what do I need to do? I'm like, you need to start. Just start. Do anything. Like, go home and write it down on a piece of paper. So I've written 3 books. And so that makes a common question or conversations. Oh, I've got a book and I've been thinking about writing it and you say, well, for how long? And 10 years. But what do I need to do it? You need to go home and write something.
Start writing.
And so the thing is, in sports, they often say the first points are the hardest to put on the board. And they are in many cases, but you need to get up and do it. The definition, in my definition of self-discipline, is doing the things that you don't want to do at the times that you need to do them the most, right? So, and it's way easier to not do stuff. So I think overall, and I think the main thing is, as well as I've learned, and I didn't used to do this as well, but I've really learned to align myself with things I'm passionate about. Because when anything gets hard, the passion you just crush right through the obstacles. If you're not passionate about something, it makes it really easy to quit. And so I think that's a big thing. And then I think that the third piece of that is I get up every day and I try to provide value. Like right before I jumped on this, because I've got a really busy day of calls and meetings and stuff like that. And I called several of the leaders in my organization, said, hey, I'm going to not be available today. For the most part, what do I need to do to help you be successful today? Because their success is mine. I have 200 employees worldwide, and it's them that makes our company successful, not me. If they're not successful and I don't do what I need to do to help them be successful, then nothing I do matters. I'm just a guy talking into a microphone or typing on a computer, So I think those are the three key things, because if you get the right people around you, they'll motivate you, hold you accountable. And I don't know, it just doesn't I decided a long time ago that my hobby was making money, and I haven't worked a single day since, Claude. That's the way I look at it, because I love what I do and how I do it and who I do it with. And on many days it's really hard. And it kind of sucks, but being passionate gets you through it.
It does.
So I want to jump into good stuff. I want to jump into your mind real quick, and it's funny how humble you are. You just kind of
be careful there. It's an endless pit of chaos once you get in there, man. It looks good on the outside, but it's rough on the inside.
Yeah, let's jump in there for a second though. And it's funny though, Tim. He says loosely that he has 200 employees, and he says, I'm just throws it out there. I'm like, that's not a small feat at all. But this one, when you said passion, and you said that, you have to have something that you're passionate about. How did passion help you blow past fear? Because a lot of times fear will stagnate people. And so how did you, because there's been times in your business, I'm sure, where you looked at, before you are where you are now, you thought, how in the world am I going to expand with the resources that I have? And then fear and all those things, how's it going to happen? So how did you use passion to push you past those obstacles that were in front of you?
So I want to put something out there. All entrepreneurs live a scared existence. Even the most successful people. I know people that have sold companies for hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're just scared on a different scale. Because if you ever realize a level of success, you realize the fragility that exists on the way to it. There's a lot of things. I don't believe in luck. I really don't. It's opportunity and it's just opportunity and preparation at an intersection. And people will say, well, what about the guy that won the lottery? He prepared by going and buying a ticket. Yes. If you don't have the lottery ticket, I guess what? I won't win the Powerball because I don't buy tickets for that. But the whole thing is the fear is, so I look at things in a very binary way, meaning zeros and ones, yes or no, black or white, true or false, win or loss. And I also look at sink or swim. So fear is a major motivator, and prove it wrong, and tell failure that it isn't going to get the best of you. Now, that's the thing is successful entrepreneurs are really stubborn on some days, but they're stubborn in the right ways. And I say that because you have to be stubborn to fail at something a whole bunch of times. No. And you have to have this blind sense of belief in yourself. I know it because by the way, while you're doing that, every business I've started that I've founded, started, owned, operate multiple successful businesses, and every single one of them along the way, I had multiple people tell me, you're crazy, you're going to fail, how are you ever going to make any money at that, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is like, and the thing that hurts is that's usually your friends and family that are saying that.
Right.
And
doesn't that give you the passion to prove them wrong?
Yes, but in the end, I quit caring about all of it. Like about probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. So we're talking about that mountaintop we want to climb. I learned that the people that throw stones are usually doing it from down below. A lot of that's driven by their own inability to feel good about what they're doing. Like, really, in the end, neither of you or anyone listening, you shouldn't care about me at all. Care about yourself. It's okay to be a little selfish, because if you can't get what you want, you're not going to help other people get what they want. You're certainly not going to be happy. And if you can't help yourself be happy, you're going to end up kind of just being miserable to yourself and everyone around you. So, I mean, overall fear is, my biggest fear is letting the people down around me. Like we talked about having 200 employees. Like what? Well, I'm worried about letting them down. Like, they have families, they have lives. Like, they are buying a lot of personal stock in the fact that I know what I'm doing. And so I take that as a big driving factor. And that should be the same for you, whether you have 2 employees, whether you are your only employee, you have 2 employees, or you have 200. That shouldn't change. So, I mean, those are some of the things that, like, look, we're all afraid. And you know what? Be a big person and admit it. Because when you admit it, it doesn't seem like such a big deal. It's being quietly scared in the corner and never taking action and not doing anything that's dangerous. Not what your failures everywhere. Who cares? Like, in Silicon Valley, they want you to fail fast. They're like, fail fast and do it as often as you can, because that's a faster approach and arrival at the solution.
And I would venture, what I'm hearing, vulnerability ignites people, right?
Oh yeah.
Because we all feel that fear, right? But we don't want to put it out there, because what if it's met with, lack of support or ridicule or whatever? And what I'm thinking is you being vulnerable, number one, and also caring about those employees. What I heard that made me so happy, because what I can say is, the work that I do is fueled by the fact that, well, so many reasons, but I can do it on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, because Big Brothers Big Sisters genuinely cares about us, not just as employees, but as people. Yes. And we feel it, and we are appreciated, and we are affirmed. And so I love hearing you say that in the for-profit business world, for sure. But, being vulnerable with other people makes them, I think, in a way, want to help you, because they respect that. It's like, oh, you put yourself right out there, didn't you?
I'm scared. If you don't care about those you lead, if you don't care about those you lead, why should they care about you? I mean, it's that simple. I mean, it's basic empathy.
Right. I grew up in a time where it was like, you just work. You're a workhorse, work. And I love that I'm seeing that change. I don't think it's fast enough that employers are really caring about their employees, but I think you're going to have a good workforce if you do.
That's good. So speaking about vulnerability, as an entrepreneur, it's a great mirror of sometimes some of the things that happen in your life that kind of reflect maybe weaknesses that you have. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you will find out very quickly what your weaknesses are. Have you ever had a situation that exposed your weakness? If you don't mind being vulnerable enough to tell us what that weakness was, and how did you attack and make that weakness a better strength for you moving forward?
So I have the personal belief that your greatest strengths are usually also your greatest weakness. And I mean, they hold hands and walk down the street. So I'll give you an example. So you mentioned at the beginning of the show, or when you said, you're great with the words or whatever. Well, I am. It's public speaking and all that stuff. It's not a challenge for me. It doesn't make me afraid. But at the same time, that can be a weakness, because that same skill, you can end up talking too much. You can talk yourself out of situations, or maybe not think about it. And so when it comes to, any weakness, okay, so some people they really, really care. And sometimes that can be a weakness too, because it gets you in goofy situations that you're like, oh man, I don't know what to do here, because you care so much that you might be afraid to say, hey, look, you need to think about the fact that you are your biggest problem, not everything else around you, but you care so much you don't want to hurt that person's feelings. But in reality, the best thing you could probably do for them is tell them that. So like, and Claude, I can't even answer that other than saying I do it every day, all day. Like at 45 years old, I'm constantly trying to mitigate the downside of all the things that I'm good at and trying to improve at, or just eliminate my need for the things that I'm never going to be good at. So, like you got to play to your own strengths on some level, and either figure out how to make the weak side, your weaknesses either so they don't even matter, because you don't even have to use that. You don't have to lean on that. Like I'm not a super organized person. Like I'm like the guy that never even had an organized toolbox. Like I came home, just threw all the tools in the toolbox, but for me, that felt efficient because I knew it was going to end up that way anyway. So why not just start there? And I mean, but in order to handle that organizationally, I have to hire people. I have to hire people that are really good at the things I'm not good at. And that's the key to growth and team building, is you got to find people that care, but you also got to find people that are really, really good at the things that you either don't want to do, that you shouldn't be doing, or you can't do.
That's good. That's good. There's so many other things I would like to ask you, but we'll have to see if we can get you on another podcast, because there's some things as far as just like, I know you're an angel investor. I know you do a lot of things in the community. So I want to have you on another time, just kind of talk to our kids about how to have a heart that wants to give back. But in conclusion, can you give us just an idea of what you're working on now? You were talking about offline some exciting projects and things that you're doing. So can you kind of share with us kind of where you're moving? And then where do you see your stuff and your company within the next 3 to 5 years? I love to kind of hear the vision of where your company is going. We can come back from the archives and listen to see how good you were at predicting the future.
Oh, good call.
Crystal ball is broken still. One thing about future plans and projections that I can guarantee is that they're all wrong. And that's part, but accept that your plan is wrong, and know that you're going to have to adapt and change and learn along the way. And that's the way to look at a future plan. As far as what we're working on, I'm the CEO and founder of Full Scale. We do tech services. I've met with you about that before, Claude, and a lot of other people. That's the business that, so we have 200 employees. We're not even 3 years old. So that's been a lot just to deal with right there, growing that quickly. A lot of our employees are in the Philippines as well. So we're doing it from opposing sides of the planet. In 3 to 5 years, I expect the size of my company to come close to doubling in the next 12 to 18 months. That's a pretty reasonable expectation there. But a lot of people are fascinated with what we do at Startup Hustle. And Tammy, you mentioned Lauren Conaway being involved there. So that's a podcast that Matt Watson and I started 3 years ago. It's so humbling to know that people listened to it in 177 countries last year.
Wow.
I didn't even know there were that many countries. It's true. And I think, and then with that, we've spun out a reality web series about that, Startup Hustle TV. It's live. The first episodes are out there, and I'm really excited about that because it's allowing myself and a whole cast of entrepreneurs that have unique superpowers talking. And guess what we talk about the most? Failure. How much we are bad at what we do. Because honestly, I'm tired of this world on social media where everyone has a Lambo and a jet and they're on their way to the moon. I'm like, no, you rented that thing for the day and you didn't even rent it. You went to the dealership and laid on it and took your picture real quick before they kicked you out. Right. That's the thing though. And Tammy, you talk about vulnerability, and if you're young and you're listening to this, you're going to fail a lot. Just accept it. It's cool. It's fine. Don't care about it. Get up and do it again. You're a failure if you stay a failure. you're not a failure if you keep trying and do it. And, so, I mean, those are some of the things that are, that I'm thinking about. I want to continue to, I don't know, man, I like sharing my story. I think that it's my duty. I've had so many entrepreneurs mentor, advise, just even pay attention to what I was doing along the way. And they had no real upside in doing that other than knowledge transfer. And I'm getting a little older. I turned 46 this year, realize I've got all my best years ahead of me still.
Yes,
and
you do.
But it is my job to transfer some of the knowledge that was given to me, because it's not mine to clutch onto and not share. It's like, and that's the whole thing. And that's happened generationally across the history of humanity. And if you're the village elder, that's a good spot. I'm cool with that. But with that comes the responsibility of sharing it. And I want to do that. And, I will advise, don't ever start your own TV show. That was a lot of work. But seeing it out there has been fun. So, I mean, those are some of the plans. And I'd really love to be involved if you ever want me and me to bring some of my friends and peers to share and transfer knowledge to big brothers and big sisters.
Yes, I love that.
That would be a fun and exciting thing to do. And Claude, I will give you more books to give away. You do not have to buy them, my friend. If you ask Jessica to get some copies, especially if you're giving them out to people that'll read them. You don't need to pay for those.
Yeah, we're a fan.
I just have to, if I could interject, I love the fact that I heard mentor in what you were saying, because obviously you see big brothers, big sisters, and you see mentoring, but I'm going to go out there, that transfer of knowledge, that having an advocate. And my question for you was going to be, do you still keep mentors in your life? Because, one of the messages I always give to families, adults and kids alike, everyone should have a mentor. You should mentor, and then you should maintain a mentor, because you're never done learning. You're never done needing someone to give you the hard truth, to lift you up if you succeed, to help pick you up if you fail. And what I say to kids is, like, your mentor will help you achieve what you want to achieve. They will not do it for you, but they'll give you everything that they can to make those steps. So I loved hearing that. And also, yes, we will connect.
There's one thing that's important that people need to know is, if you want help from other people, make it easy for them to help you. Like, I run into this all the time myself. People want help, and then I offer to give it, and they make it very difficult for a number of different reasons for me to help. And it makes me not want to help. I'll just be honest, because there's an infinite number of people that would accept that same help, that would make it easy. If you make it so people have to go out of their way to help you get what you want, first off, that's not smart. And second off, you're probably not going to get much help along the way. So you need to be receptive and open, and understand that not everybody, that the people helping you are doing it because they want to be helpful. It's just so much easier to get what you want if you make it easy for people to help you. And if you ask for help, ask everyone for help. That was my key, by the way. I always go and find anyone and everyone that has been successful in or around or doing anything closely related to what I want to do. And I just reach out. And here's the thing, is people like to talk about themselves. So they say yes a lot more than you'd think, but you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I take a lot of shots. My shooting percentage is terrible, trust me. But I just take so many shots. Eventually they go in. I'm like the broken clock that's right twice a day. So
well, my motto is, the answer is always no if you don't ask the question.
True. Same. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I can't put all these quotes out here. So these are some good ones. I thank you guys so much for coming out. Matt, we really appreciate you. My daughter looks up to you so much, my 11-year-old, when you allowed us to come out and be in your suite for the Globetrotters. We still talk about that. So thank you.
I miss the suite. I miss that. I miss that a lot. Yes.
Miss the people, miss the places, miss the people in the places. Yep.
Yes. But
we'll get back there.
We will eventually, but you have done a lot for the community. And so I definitely pray that you continue to have success. I think your success is just a platform for you to share some of the things that's inside your heart. Tammy, I am grateful for all that you do. I'm happy to see that your service has elevated you to another level. And so anything we can do, I know we're supposed to be chatting today, I believe. So anything we can do that can help take you guys to another level, we want to do that. So excited about our relationship moving forward. Matt, is there anything in closing that you would like to give out to our students? We will have this in our app, so all of them will go to the archives and see it. And then we're going to do a push notification on this one. We had one push notification that we did that got up to 100,000 views. So we're very happy about that one. And we think that this one will be one that can jump up there too. So we're going to make sure we push this out on our social media handles to get more eyeballs on what you said today. Anything in closing?
I mean, I just think that your reality is what you create your reality around, and if you figure out where you want to be and what you want to do and work backwards from that in your planning. And, there honestly, on paper, I should not have achieved so many of the things that I have. And by the way, I dropped out of 5 colleges, just so you know. I have a high school diploma, and 2 days ago, Forbes put me on their list for top startup entrepreneurs. That was a surprise, and I wanted to put in my bio. I wanted to lead it by saying I dropped out of 5 colleges, just so you know. Because the thing is it's this, I created my success out of hard work, dedication, and understanding that it wasn't going to happen unless I made it happen in many regards, and found a lot of other people, and I was patient at times and impatient at others, but really in the end, it's hard work, and success demands payment in advance. That's your statement. That's the real key thing, and I have yet to prove that theory wrong.
That's awesome. And congratulations. I did see that on Facebook, that post that was out there. So again, very humble.
It was my team and my employees that won that award. They just put my name on it to accept it. If it wasn't for everyone that works with me and for me, that would have, once again, everything I do doesn't even matter. So, I accept that on behalf of my company, but it wasn't me that won it. It was the people that work with me.
Such a great mindset.
Yes, that's good leadership. Yes. So, hey, thank you guys for listening to us today. Again, my heart goes out to you, Matt, for all that you're doing. Tammy, excited to see you going to another level. And we will have our next guest on next week for our Spotlight Challenge, our 10-10. Matt killed it. He made $4 as a bagger in his first job, and now he's on the Forbes list. So humble beginnings to look at where he's at today. Guys, appreciate you so much for tuning in.
Wonderful. See you later.
Are we off?